So you're thinking of moving to the Fort Lauderdale and South Florida area? Well, you're definitely not alone. It seems like everyone is looking to move to the state of Florida. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons why so many people, seemingly everyone, is looking to move to Florida, and we're going to jump right into it, so don't go anywhere. Hey, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale. And if this is your first time here and you want to know everything there is to know about the South Florida real estate market, then please consider subscribing and tap the notifications to be notified anytime I go ahead and put out a new video. I put out weekly videos and content about what it's like to live and to play here in South Florida. But more than that, guys, I am a local real estate agent, and what I love to do more than anything is to help people just like you with all their real estate needs. My name's Robert, and we're getting calls all the time from all over the country from people just like you that are looking to relocate down here to the South Florida area. So if you have any questions about anything that we talk about in these videos, give me a call, send me a text or an email, and I'd be happy to help you make it a smooth transition with your relocation or move down here to South Florida, guys. And without further ado, let's dive right into today's video. So let's start off with number 1 and updated for the year 2022, the absolute top reason why so many people are calling and looking to move to the state of Florida in general, and it is freedom. Now, I have to really sit back and kind of think about saying freedom, because it's really kind of strange in this country to think from that perspective, but we're getting calls from all over the country. Not only that, in the last week, I got 3 reach outs from Canada. Now, we've all been seeing on the news what's been going on over there with the truckers and the protests, and we had 3 reach outs, and all of them were kind of talking about the same thing, but the last one, it was a text that I got from the person who reached out, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the last portion of the text said, we have to get out of Canada. I cannot believe that I'm saying this. Now, this text was really telling, in my opinion, because to me it sounded like someone who not necessarily wanted to leave or really does not dislike Canada, probably grew up there their whole life, but just got to a point where things have changed so much that they just are looking for something different. Now, the protests are not only going on in Canada. This is more of a worldwide movement. There's protests in Greece, Italy, Germany, Austria, and all of them protesting against, the mask mandates, the forced vaccines, all the restrictions and everything that we've been going through, or actually other people have been going through since 2020. Now, the good news is that they're really starting to ease and remove some of the restrictions in some of these areas, but there's always going to be those holdouts that are just going to be the last places or countries to do so. Now, Canada is obviously one, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Portland, seem to be like the last places that will actually start easing these restrictions. Now, in these places, it's actually pushing some of the citizens to their breaking point. Now, they've gone through COVID. A lot of them have lost jobs and businesses. Now, a lot of these folks have to try to reinvent themselves and try to figure out, what am I going to do to support my family going forward? And the movement is really turning into more than just, protesting against these mandates and having to do with COVID, but it's turning into more of a worldwide movement against freedom in general. Now, you can see what's going on in Canada. They're actually starting to seize people's property, bank accounts. Now, I've even seen some articles where they're actually going to start taking your pets from you if you happen to get arrested, and if you don't have someone coming to get the pet after a certain amount of time, that they're going to put the animal down, which is really kind of crazy. Now, aside from Canada, when you take a lot of these other states here in the country, where they still have some of these crazy restrictive mandates and vaccine passports and things like that, and add that to, crippling business regulations and taxes, and it's no reason why people all over the country are leaving in droves, and a lot of them coming here to the state of Florida. Now, this is not only Florida. A lot of states like Texas, Arizona, South Carolina all have a huge influx of people moving to them, and states like New York, California, Chicago, Portland all have people, more people moving out of the states for the first time in recent memory than they have people moving in. Now, I did hear somewhere, and I didn't have time to look it up to see if it's actually true, but I heard that U-Haul at one point during 2021 ran out of moving trucks for families that were leaving the state and moving to, I think it was Texas. So obviously this has been going on through a lot of states, and people are looking to move out of these states and move to other ones that are more business friendly. And Florida is the main state. We are number one in 2021 for the amount of new residents or people that have moved into the state. Now, add to that California, for the first time in recent memory, had more people actually leaving the state than moving in, and just shows you what's really going on throughout the country. So freedom is a huge deal right now, and the number one reason from people that are contacting us through that channel. But this brings up a big concern for some of the local folks or people that have been here in Florida for a while now. Now, there's some buzzwords or phrases going on for states like Florida and Texas. Just from the sheer amount of people moving in from these states, I think one of them is "Don't New York my Florida," or "Don't California my Texas," or something to that effect, because what they're worried about is that all these people that are actually moving to these states from, say, New York or California or some of these other states where they have these policies that are getting kind of out of hand as far as freedom is concerned and taxes and things like that. A lot of the residents that are here in the state of Florida are kind of worried that some of these folks that come here might get comfortable after a certain amount of time and kind of revert back to some of these policies, or start supporting some of these policies that they ran away from in the first place, and change Florida into those states that they left. Now, this is why a lot of people that we're speaking to are telling us that these protests are going way past COVID, or have to do with much more than COVID, and it's really about freedom, because what is going to happen the next time there's a new pandemic thrust on the world? Now, there's really two camps of thought when it comes to where this corona came from. Now, you have a lab in the province, I guess it's called, of China called Wuhan, and in this lab they worked on coronaviruses, came from a bat, nature, and they do research in there to see how they can manipulate it and make it transmissible to humans. And supposedly there was some sort of an accident, or someone got infected by accident and left the lab and kind of spread it out there. Or some dude decided to have an exotic dinner and went to a wet market and decided to have a soup, or a bat soup, and that's somehow how this virus was thrust upon the world. So whatever camp you are in as far as where the virus came from, I think it's kind of obvious that this is something that can happen again. Hopefully not anytime in the near future, but definitely a possibility that it does. So what's going to happen the next time there's another coronavirus thrust onto the world? Does it give the governments the right to force people to take vaccines they don't want? Are they able to shut down our economy again, or keep kids from school? And all the other things they're doing with the mandates and, all these requirements. And the reason why they're protesting in Canada, they have a legitimate concern. I mean, I think, according to them, a lot of these people were in support of the vaccines and the mandates and the restrictions. But now it's kind of obvious to them that we're at a point, at least with COVID, that it is not the same as it was in, the summer of 2020. So why do they keep pushing these crazy restrictions and vaccines that are stifling these families and robbing them of their future? And actually now they're starting to seize their property. So this is really what this is going on. And here in the state of Florida, we have not had any of these restrictions and mandates since we had that 2 weeks to slow the spread. So it's kind of difficult for me to understand what they're going through, but judging from talking to them and all the calls we're getting, tons of people. It seems like everyone that's calling lately, freedom is a huge, huge factor as to why they're moving or want to move to South Florida. Now, reason number 2 is jobs. Now, this has never really been a huge reason why people relocated or wanted to move to the state of Florida. Now, in the past few years, and especially since COVID, all that has changed. Now, Florida was always big with hospitality jobs and healthcare, but it was never really a place where people, relocated and said, I'm going to go to Florida for a job, unless they were getting a transfer for a particular reason. And also because our wages here in Florida are definitely not anywhere near some of these states like, say, Florida and California. But in the last few years and since COVID, a lot of companies have been moving to Florida, and it has totally changed the job market and the opportunities available here in the state. Now, the forecast for the state of Florida is incredible. For 2022, the state of Florida is supposed to outpace the nation in job and economic growth. So now there's many, many more jobs in the financial sector, in the manufacturing sector, in the tech sector. Crypto's blowing up down here in the state. So Miami has become a new hub for the tech sector and for crypto. Palm Beach has already been nicknamed Wall Street South because of all the firms that are opening up satellite offices and also relocating to the county. So in turn, South Florida is booming, and the job market here in the entire state actually is looking great for the near future. And that's going to lead us to the third top reason, and that is for business. So all these new jobs here in South Florida have to come from somewhere, and they're being fueled by all these companies that are relocating or opening up satellite offices here in Florida, and also new startups coming from locals and entrepreneurs all over the country that are coming here to start up new businesses. Now, this is a trend that we've been seeing down here for the last several years, even going back way before COVID, because a lot of companies have been getting hammered by just really, really strict regulations and taxes in these other high tax states, like, again, New York, New Jersey, California, Chicago. Now, it's almost getting to the point where some of these businesses are being forced out of these high tax states if they want to keep running a business. And one of the reasons is just the burdensome tax policies in these states. And that's going to bring us to number 4 on the list, and that is taxes. Now, just by moving here to the state of Florida is going to save you a bunch of money on your taxes. And the state of Florida is in the top 10 of the most friendly tax states for retirees. And obviously, we all know that we do not pay any personal state income tax. So this means no state income tax, no state taxes, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on your IRA, no taxes on your 401k or pension, and any other retirement income. There is also no inheritance or estate tax here in the state of Florida. Now, also supporting Florida's job growth is a business climate that is pro-business and really spurs on the economy. Now, for the 5th year in a row, Florida ranks in the top 5 states for the friendliest business tax climate, and it's actually the only state out of the top 5 that is a large metro area population. Now, when you compare and contrast that with California, I think they come in at 48, and New York is 49 as far as, friendly tax climates. It's no mystery why so many people are calling us from New York and California and looking to make the move and relocate and get out of those states and move here to the state of Florida. So in a nutshell, the state of Florida has a very low corporate tax rate. It has no personal state income tax. So it's really a no-brainer as to why so many businesses and their employees are looking to make that move and relocate down here to the state of Florida and South Florida in general. And the 5th and final reason, and this has always been one of the main reasons why people decide to at some point make that move down here to the Sunshine State, is the weather and climate here in Florida. Now, obviously, the state of Florida has always been a place where people have moved to or eventually retired to because of its warm and beautiful climate. Year-round activities, guys, I've talked about it in all my videos. Obviously, we have the beach and fishing and any type of water sports. Golfing, there's nature parks everywhere. I mean, I can go on and on and on about all the activities down here in the state of Florida. One thing you can be certain happened to me and everyone that I know that moves here from another area, especially if you're coming from a colder climate, you will live a much more active lifestyle. You will spend much more time outside and enjoy all the beautiful weather year-round, guys, especially during the winter when you're normally hunkered down because it's just too cold and too brutal to go outside. That's when we have some of our best weather. So obviously weather and lifestyle is still a huge main driving force. That has never gone away. It's just a lot of these new reasons why people are moving here, and it's really something that we haven't seen. This job growth is crazy. You know, a lot of people unfortunately moving because of these restrictions and COVID. And like we spoke about, some people feel like their freedoms are being trampled on, and they feel down here in the state of Florida, they could, you know, live and be free, which is really kind of crazy to say that here in the country of the United States. So again, definitely freedom is the #1 reason why people are moving here. So that's our top 5, guys. So you really have a choice. You could decide to live in an area that has a cold climate, be forced to stick shots in your body that you don't want, be forced to wear masks until no end, and show your papers at any time. And now, look, they're starting to seize people's property. Really, really crazy what's going on. Or you can decide to make the move like so many other people that we're talking to and come down to a beautiful, warm climate, no mask. You don't have to take the shot. You're not going to be forced, and you're going to have a lot more personal freedom to enjoy your life down here in the state of Florida and here in South Florida. So we're going to wrap it up, guys, and I really, really appreciate you watching and spending some time with me during this video. And if you have any questions about the real estate market down here in South Florida, we would absolutely love to help you with your real estate needs and help you make it a smooth transition when moving anywhere here to the South Florida area. And until next time, guys, I appreciate you watching. Reach me by phone, cell, email, send me a text. My information should be popping up down below, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I'll catch you on the next video, and take care.